Good morning.
Good morning.
It is Shankar and Andrea, and we help doctors and healthcare professionals grow online. Was that good for our 10-second signature? Awesome. So that is a tip right there. Get your 10-second verbal signature. Hello, I'm Shankar and Andrea, and we are helping doctors grow online. Now you know it. Today we will talk about virtual events. We have gotten quite used in organizing them. I think at this time we probably are close to at least one per month. And there's a few reasons why our dear healthcare professionals should use virtual events to truly boost their presence. It has so many benefits. It really is a very smart way for you to build community, to foster your network, and to show your expertise without running into the problem of everything that you are worried about, like saying the wrong things, talking about things that you're not supposed to. So we will just go over a few aspects of organizing virtual events, what is important for it to be successful, and we really encourage you to give it a try. We're not talking about a Zoom call, although that could be your first version of it. But Andrea, do you want to explain a little bit what we use and what features there are in this software that we believe truly make a difference?
Yeah, we have an amazing software that we use for hybrid and virtual events. It's called AirMeet, and it is a platform that, I kind of see it as an entertaining experience as well because you're able to network with people, see almost like a show presentation inside of the software itself. I think one of the things that really distinguishes it between Zoom is that you're able to have these private breakout discussions in the form of a table. So you'll actually visibly see a table on your screen with the names or the abbreviations of the people that are sitting next to you. And so if there's 3 tables, 4 tables at a seat, I can look over and see, oh, Dr. Roger is at that table. Let me go over there and chat to him. Or this person is at this table. I want to go and talk to them. And it was really nice when our keynote speaker actually said, this mimics real life, because then we've
Mhm.
accomplished our goal, giving that in-person experience, even though it's a virtual event. But you can make it, like I said, hybrid. And I don't picture that would be too difficult to do. Would you?
Mhm. No, I don't think so. No, and I want to kind of think through what I'm kind of thinking of one of our clients who lives in an area where she kind of has to reach people in multiple cities that are a few miles apart from each other. But, what one way for her as a doctor to utilize this strategy could be, for example, she organizes a virtual event called Let's Stay Healthy in, and then the name of the city or in the name of the area, right? And then what she could do is she could really settle on, let's actually, one thing is the two most important things are you got to know your date and you got to know the title of your event. That's actually very important because everything starts with putting it out there as early as possible. And so you organize your event items on Facebook, or Eventbrite works very well. Telling your community, telling your Chamber of Commerce works very well. And then you could go again as a doctor. You don't always want to be on stage alone and be at risk of having to talk about clinical advice, which is something you don't want to do. But you can partner up with other people who are tangentially responsible for staying healthy in the community. That could be dietitians, fitness instructors, counselors, really kind of have a talk about what it means to stay healthy in the community. So, and Andrea, what other thoughts do you have? I'm sorry, this kind of came to me spontaneously, but I think it's a very powerful strategy.
Yeah, I think it is a really good way to build community. Something that I noticed last night is just having a lounge area for people to talk to one another. And it really removes a lot of the burden of the host and the speaker from having to constantly engage. Now, obviously, if they do that, that's wonderful because that is part of the community building. But if you don't have that opportunity, or maybe the time is kind of limited, you can always ask questions. There's a polling option inside of what the platform so that you can still get engagement, still participate in real time without the distractions of, unwanted conversation because somebody hasn't muted their mic, or you can bring people on stage so that it's even more immersive and people join the conversation and everyone else can see. I think these kinds of opportunities when you're building community are really important. And I think we've gotten really, really good at it. And we're seeing a lot of success in the FMMA chapter with a bunch of doctors who are able to talk to other doctors and vendors and whoever they need so that they can share their resources and progress in their pursuits of whatever it is that they're trying to achieve. So it just, I guess it kind of depends on what you're trying to do, but you shouldn't sleep on virtual events.
No, I truly believe that even though a lot of people say they've gotten Zoom fatigue and they're happy to go out, I don't think that virtual events will go away at all. Actually, I think they will still keep growing because they're really much cheaper to organize.
Yes.
There's
And you don't have
lower,
to fly to the event.
yeah. So it's truly a far more equal way of giving access to information, of creating community. And it is also less costly, which is a big reason. I mean, whenever you put on an in-person event, usually the venue and typically some kind of catering is associated to it. Those two things can already exceed most people's budget to just give something a try.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how you talked about these features like polling. That is really very important. It's not just a Zoom call. You have polls. There's a feature available that's similar to speed networking. You have these networking tables that you can hop on and off. And then, of course, there's Q&As that people can submit questions and others can upvote. And when you decide to address that question, you can show it and invite someone to stage. So all of that is really powerful, and it is something that we can help you with if you want a few pointers. We've gotten quite proficient in it, but I
I
really
think people, I'm so sorry.
no problem. No, I really challenge our network and all the healthcare providers who see us right now or the recording to give it a try. Okay. It's also the final thing I will say is that your reach is incredible. You can have people from all over the world
Yep.
in your virtual event and truly foster a sense of community and togetherness. Yesterday, I spoke to a fitness instructor from Hawaii, and she told me that ever since the pandemic, her business was forced to go virtual, and it was actually good for her. And you would think that for fitness instruction, that is not the case. And I asked her, that's really interesting. Why? And she said, well, people pay closer attention to the form of the exercise and to do it right because I show it and then they do it. And so they pay closer attention. And that's very interesting, right?
Yeah, I think also You bring up such a good point about it being good for her. And I think we kind of rob ourselves from growth when we don't participate in these things,
Hmm.
become early adopters. You understand the tool, and then suddenly, when everything is a requirement, think about telehealth, telemedicine, virtual care. Think about how many doctors were not set up to take care of their patients because they
Hmm.
had no experience with it. I guarantee you it didn't take until everyone was getting sick over the last couple of years for there to be an idea of having heard about it. It's just that there weren't very many early adopters of it. Or there are
Hmm.
people that's like, that's another hassle or burden I don't want to deal with. But the reality is, those that were adventurous, innovative enough, and visionaries that adopted it, and one day this might be really, really useful. It turned out to be good for them. It turned out to be good for the patients. And they were able to succeed and thrive at a time when most doctors, for example, were forced to close their door. This is very, very similar. We've seen it in the past. When we don't embrace these bits of technology, they suddenly become the expectation and a requirement. People aren't
Hmm.
even going to show up if it's not a hybrid event. If there's no virtual option, I don't want to do it. I mean, there are speakers that are willing to come down, there are speakers that aren't willing to come down, there are patients, just like you're talking about that reach. And if you don't have an option like that, forget it. People don't want to deal with you. They feel like you're not even current or in the times or considerate. So yeah, I just thought I would mention that it's really important to keep up with this. It's not just like a cool thing to do. One day it will become a requirement.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Same goes with the metaverse, which is just an extension. It's virtual events taken to the next level. And we have, believe it or not, we work out of the metaverse every single day. I mean, I know it's hard to imagine that for you, but hey, if you're interested, drop virtual or metaverse in the comments and we will invite you to join us in our virtual office. Yes, you can have your little avatar and join us in the virtual office. Just, want to show you that. Um, if you want to learn more about what you can do to stand out online, to grow your online presence and influence, I have a weekly live masterclass for doctors and physicians and counselors, nurse practitioners. Go to shanks.healthcare. It's blended in here and sign up for the next issue, which is on Tuesday, I believe, at 6 p.m. Central Time. Andrea, any final words before we wrap this up?
Have a good weekend.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.